How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yes, and how many years must a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? Yes, and how many years can a people exist before they're allowed to be free? Yes, and how many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yes, and how many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? Yes, and how many years must one man have before he can hear people cry? Yes, and how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
Awesome. Hello and good evening. My name is Eli Stoll, and welcome to my Music and Peace Building capstone. I will be presenting on protest, power, and place, how protest music shapes dynamics of power and transforms space into place. This choice of topic came to being through my personal experiences with protest and protest music, as well as my future plans to pursue a career in urban planning and community development. As informed by Susan Fast and Kip Pegley in Music, Politics, and Violence, I am taking the position in this presentation that music, specifically protest music, does not just reflect public sentiment, but it can generate public sentiment. Due to this generative characteristic of music, it can be actively used to create places that either subvert or reinforce entrenched power structures. This leaves us with the question of what type of music do we need to make and share in order to create the places that we want to have. I hope that through the examples I share of various forms of protest music, that you begin to form an idea of what you think the music we create should be. So before we start, here's a brief agenda of what I plan to cover. So what is protest music? And then I'll be talking about space into place and kind of giving a little bit of definitions of what I mean by that. And then I'll be sharing about my own experiences seeing this, and then I'll offer a closing. So yeah. What is protest music? What am I talking about when I say protest music? So here are a few definitions. A song that expresses disapproval, usually about a political subject, from Cambridge English Dictionary. A song which expresses a political issue in a way which aligns itself with the underdog. Protest song as a song that they don't play on the radio. Music as a weapon of collective struggle and human mobilization and liberation. And then there's also this kind of dichotomy of magnetic and rhetorical protest songs. So magnetic protest songs being songs that draw people in, songs that people can sing along to and that are well known and can be passed down through an oral tradition. And then there are rhetorical protest songs, which are more meant as an individual expressing through music their own personal dissent. For the sake of this presentation, when I am talking about protest music, I am using the term in its broadest sense, most closely aligned with Linsky's definition, but qualifying that protest music is not inherently taking the position of the underdog. On this slide, I have a picture of a Nigerian protest musician that was really influential in like the 1970s. So like a few places in the slideshow, I don't talk about them too much, but there are like a few like cool protest musicians that I wanted to just like show pictures of. So yeah, next, We Shall Overcome. In Dorian Linsky's book, 33 Revolutions Per Minute, it is stated that We Shall Overcome is protest music boiled down to its quintessence, saying that we means the power of community, shall is the promise of a brighter future, and to overcome, to have defiance and endurance. There's also a strong critique of the song, which asks the question of when shall we overcome? Linsky goes on to mention that We Shall Overcome didn't postpone satisfaction into the afterlife, but it postponed it nonetheless. American writer Lillian Hellman complained, "What kind of namby-pamby, wishy-washy song is that? Mooning always, someday, someday. That's been said for 2,000 years. Well, while we sing the song, try to consider various interpretations of the text and how that may have been experienced by those using it as a freedom song during the civil rights movement. And if you just need to focus on reading the notes on the page, that's great too. So turn to page 803 in Voices Together if you grabbed a hymnal. And if not, run and grab one or share with the person next to you. Yeah, let's everyone stand. And the first verse we're going to sing in unison, and then we will sing We'll Walk Hand in Hand, We Shall Live in Peace, and then one more time of We Shall Overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. Add harmonies. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall hand in hand someday. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall live in peace someday. One more time, we shall overcome. We shall overcome. One aspect of We Shall Overcome that led to its success was its ability to be passed down orally and to be adapted with added verses and changed text. In this way, I see protest songs as being creations that should have a life of their own. As part of this project, I decided to explore what it would look like to create new protest songs. This was a new adventure for me, which was a bit intimidating, but I also knew I wanted to keep the songs in the same vein of We Shall Overcome, that attempts to be simplistic, relevant today, yet applicable to different contexts. So here is Day by Day, and you're welcome to be seated, at least while I teach it, but I might ask you to stand partway through. So to start, it starts with a call and respond, but then there's also a part that's in unison altogether, so I'm going to teach that first. So repeat this part in unison after me.
We see, we hear.
We see, we hear.
The truth we won't forget.
The truth we won't forget.
Let's live to see the day that we rise.
Let's live to see the day that we rise.
Let's do that all together.
We see, we hear, the truth we won't forget. Let's live to see the day that we rise.
Call and respond after me.
Day by day,
Day by day.
breath by breath,
Breath by breath.
we see, we hear, the truth we won't forget. Let's live to see the day that we rise.
Let's do it again.
Day by day,
Day by day.
breath by breath,
Breath by breath.
we see, we hear, the truth we won't forget. Let's live to see the day that we rise.
Awesome. Thank you. So you might have been asking yourself, what is the distinction I'm talking about between space and place? For this presentation, when I say space, I'm specifically talking about the physical environment from an objective, lifeless, and boring perspective. For example, the building we are in right now, absent of all the value that we have assigned to it, it's just a bunch of materials stacked together that could be described using terms of measurement. But as we all know and can observe, it is so much more than that. This room has a name, Martin Chapel, a history, people who built it, a certain style of design. All of these characteristics help to turn space into place. But the type of place that Martin Chapel is also changes depending on who is inside of it, how the chairs are arranged, and importantly, for the sake of this capstone, what type of music is present. Ryan Good, EMU professor and director of the Washington, D.C. semester program, talks about the idea of place by examining its 4 dimensions: social, institutional, economic, and physical. Music is most connected to the social dimension of place, and music is certainly not the only explanatory factor that makes a space a certain type of place. But music is clearly an effective tool for creating different types of place. Ryan Good describes how place is also something that can be invoked. This leads me to the question of how different types of protest music invoke different types of places. During this next part of the presentation, I will show a number of different contexts in which music was used to create a specific type of place. So first, let's look at the National Mall in DC. This is a place that might be familiar to a lot of you, one that reflects our nation's attempt at displaying its power. And there have been many protests that have taken place at the National Mall, including the March on Washington. So here's a clip from the March on Washington. So I just want to ask quick, can a few people just call out, like, what are the emotions or the feelings that are coming to your mind when you watch this clip of people singing at the March on Washington? Just shout them out. Energy. Passion. Faith. Nice. Awesome. Earnest. Yeah. So next, here's another example of a protest that happened in Washington, D.C. that also uses elements of faith to try and convey the message that they're sharing.
No matter if you're a good singer, bad singer, this morning we're going to unite together in singing. This is very simple. This is a worship song. It says, today, tomorrow, and forever I will live for you. Today, tomorrow, and forever I will worship you, and that's it, okay? It goes like this. Today, tomorrow, and forever I will live for you. Today, tomorrow, and forever.
Emotions. What things are coming up for people after watching that clip? Commercialized. Interesting. Is that the same place as the clip from March on Washington? I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Like a little bit stumped. And I think it's interesting to show how music can be used differently to show different types, different meanings, different perspectives, while still having a lot of the same elements of faith that we mentioned, but used in a very different way. So it's important to think about how we want to use music in different spaces and how that's also employed by groups of people to demonstrate the feeling of the space, the places that they want to create, or that people want to create. So next, here's a video of ICE protests in Philadelphia. On the right, you can see the Capitol building in Philadelphia, and on the left, you're going to be seeing people who are protesting at the Capitol. Emotions, feelings, what's coming up after seeing that clip? Community. Solidarity. One more. Sad. Yeah. It's a pretty haunting song. And that is shaping the place that is at the Capitol. And it would probably feel a little bit different if there was a DJ there playing hype disco music, even if the words might be the same. So yeah, that's just trying to get at how the music itself impacts the place. So here's another similar video from Serbia, another picture of the Parliament building in the top right, and then pictures of student protests on the bottom right, and then here's a video of a song that is sung by the student protesters. Another round. What sort of energy did that video convey to you? Worship. Hopeful. Is that two at the same time? Wow. Cool. Victorious. Interesting. Nice. So moving on to a different context, how music can be used as a rallying cry, as a way to get people to pick up arms. Here's an example from the DR Congo.
So,
Thoughts? Anything coming to mind? Power. dance. Yeah, people were dancing. I want to be careful with this example. I think it's important to recognize that music is used for warfare in many contexts all over the place. We see this with drum music and kind of imperial bands, like you kind of imagine like that imperial drum roll. So I wanted to show another example from South Africa from a nonviolent protest that also includes a lot of dance.
48 hours after the ambush from the truck, and on the very same spot, another confrontation is beginning. 3 boys died here, but more are ready to taunt the police.
We are going to continue with this illegal action. We are going to take action against you. We are asking you to please discontinue this action so that the situation in this area can settle down to normal again.
But
I really couldn't find a good video of protesting in South Africa, which made me really disappointed. But I am enlivened when I see this video of people just coming together and dancing and what that means to be in that place with other people. And the specific type of place that they created in that moment where they can show up and say, we're here, we're together, we're dancing, we're making music, and we're doing that for a cause together to fight against apartheid. So next, within the broad definition of protest music, I've observed that there is a spectrum within the genre of music, that one end is seeking to be broadly unifying and hopeful, and the other is divisive and provocative. The majority of the music I've highlighted so far has been closer to the unifying end of the spectrum, but I felt it was necessary to also demonstrate some of the more provocative forms of protest music. Music that is intentionally meant to, as my voice professor Shannon Kaiser said, poke the bear. This has been around for centuries, but I've decided to demonstrate this by highlighting 2 contemporary American musicians who both fall under the genre of folk and have used their music to evoke strong emotions and support for their views. The lyrics they use in some of their songs can be quite inflammatory and personally attacking. Oliver Anthony and his song titled Rich Men North of Richmond, which has been strongly endorsed in conservative circles, is a song about how everyday working people get screwed over by corporate elite. But there are also inflammatory words in Anthony's song. He sings, "I wish politicians would look out for miners, and not just miners on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare, but God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds." These are not lyrics which I endorse. And similarly with Jesse Wells, the song Join ICE, which we will be performing shortly, uses satire to point out ICE's oppressive tactics, but does so in a way that is personally demeaning at times. To provide context to Wells's song, I want to highlight that in the same way that there is an industry of healthcare, an industry of education, there is also an industry of violence. Nearly 30% of ICE officers are Latino, and many officers likely joined the agency because it was one of their few options for a career. I still do not support the choice to work for ICE, but I think it merits at least some providing of nuance. So all that being said, I do not endorse the lyrics of either of these texts in which are personally attacking, but they also provide value by doing as what labor activist and songwriter Joe Hill states, that if a person can put a few cold, common sense facts into a song and dress them up in a cloak of humor to take the dryness out of them, he will succeed in reaching a great number of workers. So here is Join ICE by Jesse Wells.
Well, if you're looking for purpose in the current circus, if you're seeking respect and attention, if you're in need of a gig that'll make you feel big, come with me and put some folks in detention. Just last week was kind of tough. I put a kid in cuffs, a zip tied a lady to a van. We can sneak around town, hunt working folks down. I hear they got a great benefit plan. Join ICE, boy nice. Join ICE, take my advice. If you're lacking control and authority, come with me and hunt down minorities. Join ICE. Well, I failed the academy, the cops weren't having me, the army didn't sound that fun. So I found me a paramilitary operation that was keen to hand me a gun. I got picked on at school, I never felt that cool. There's a hole in my soul that just rages. All the ladies turned me down and I felt like a clown. Would you look at me now? I'm putting folks in cages. At ICE, respecting power. Join ICE, I hear they got great hours. There's a sign-on bonus of 50 grand. They're in need of you, needing to feel like a man. Join ICE. Well, if you're looking for purpose in the current circus, if you're seeking respect and attention, if you're in need of a gig that'll make you feel big, come with me and put some folks in detention. See, I failed the academy, the cops weren't having me, the army didn't sound that fun. So I found me a paramilitary operation that was keen to hand me a gun. Join ICE, boy nice. Join ICE, take my advice. If you're lacking control and authority, come with me and hunt down minorities. Join ICE.
Thanks for bearing with me through that. I know that was probably painful for some and kind of funny for others, So next, I will transition to discussing my own experiences, seeing how protest music creates different types of spaces. I will talk about Mennonite Action in greater detail briefly, but at a training this past fall that I was co-facilitating, we did a role play of a nonviolent direct action. I was in charge of making sure the protesters knew where to go and to guide them in singing. I had not prepared as much as I should have, and I decided that we should chant as we walked in and then transition to singing once we reached our destination. A seemingly harmless decision, but one that drastically changed the type of space that was created. Instead of creating a place that was filled with the sounds of loving and steadfast voices, providing support to those we were connected, providing support and advocating for, some described the chanting as feeling intimidating or harsh and evoked emotions of fear. This experience has helped me take into consideration what effect different types of protest music have on place. Next, I will teach another song that I wrote, which intends to convey the loving steadfastness I wish I had brought to that role play last semester. So this next song is called For Our Neighbors. So I'm going to start by teaching the first section, which we're going to repeat 3 times, going from the words, I'll stand, let's stand, to I'll sing, let's sing, I'll love, let's love. And then we'll practice the We Will Not Let You Take Our Neighbors Away. For our neighbors, I'll stand, let's stand. For our neighbors, I'll stand, let's sing. For our neighbors, I'll love, let's love. Awesome. So let's practice that one more time. For our neighbors, I'll stand, let's stand. For sisters and for our brothers.
For our neighbor's house and let's sing. For our neighbor's house sing. Let's sing for our neighbor's house love. Let's love. We will not let you take our neighbors away. For our sister's house and let's sing. Add harmony. For our sister's house sing. Let's sing for our sister's house love. Let's love. We will be strong with our sisters today. Add harmony. For our brother's house and let's sing. For our brother's house sing. Let's sing for our brother's house love. Let's love. We will join hands with our brothers and pray.
Awesome. Thank you. So next, as there's a picture of on this screen, a large part of my college experience that has been defining for me is my experience with Mennonite Action. Through protesting, planning, organizing, music leading, and recently being a contributor to the new Mennonite Action Courage to Enter the Song Organizing Guide, which you should all look at, I have experienced firsthand the power that music has to create places that actively call out oppressive power structures in a way that still feels unifying. That being said, I think back to the various interpretations of We Shall Overcome, and I continue to wrestle with the question of urgency and whether or not the methods Mennonite Action uses are meeting the urgency that the current moment requires. This presentation would also feel incomplete without voicing my connection and commitment to working towards an end to the oppression of Palestinians. My personal story has been deeply shaped by the research I've done on Palestine, my involvement in Mennonite Action, and my own experience being deported from Israel. Feel free to find me sometime this weekend and ask me about that if you're curious. Due to my care about the topic, I was struck by Chapter 5 of Music, Politics, and Violence, written by David MacDonald. In this chapter, MacDonald demonstrates the impact of various forms and styles of publicly performed music that emerged from Palestinian struggle. MacDonald states, performative and expressive media created a space, or I might qualify this by saying place, wherein these fundamental issues of national identity were negotiated and performed, giving voice to diverse experiences, each uniquely constitutive of the Palestinian nation. This example of how music was used as a way to give voice to and create a vision for a different future, this gets at a piece of how I think protest music is best used. So next, we're going to be singing the song Vine and Fig Tree. Back in July 2024, I traveled to DC to participate in a mix of interfaith demonstrations as well as an action of civil disobedience with Mennonite Action in the Hart Senate Office Building. A song that was introduced at one of the interfaith demonstrations by the organization Jewish Voices for Peace was this song, Vine and Fig Tree. I appreciate the song for its ability to be unifying across faith groups, and while still providing an active call to action and turning swords to plowshares. So next we'll sing Vine and Fig Tree. And I invite you to stand for this one. So I'll just sing the first
nation shall learn war no more. And into plowshares turn their swords, nations shall learn war no more. And into plowshares turn their swords, nations shall learn war no more. So now we'll do it all together, and we'll repeat a few times, and then we'll start doing it in a canon where I'll have this side of the room start, and then this side of the room follow. And everyone neath their vine and fig tree shall live in peace and unafraid. And everyone neath their vine and fig tree shall live in peace and unafraid. And into plowshares turn their swords, nations shall learn war no more. And into plowshares turn their swords, nations shall learn war no more. And everyone neath their vine and fig tree shall live in peace and unafraid. And everyone neath their vine and fig tree shall live in peace and unafraid. And into plowshares turn their swords, nations shall learn war no more. And into plowshares turn their swords, nations shall learn war no more. And everyone neath their vine and fig tree shall live in peace and unafraid. And everyone neath their vine and fig tree shall live in peace and unafraid. And everyone neath their vine and fig tree shall live in peace and unafraid. And everyone neath their vine and fig tree shall live in peace and unafraid. Everyone into plowshares turn their swords, nations shall learn war no more. Everyone into plowshares turn their swords, nations. One more time. And everyone into plowshares turn their swords, peace and shall learn war no more. Everyone into plowshares turn their swords, peace and shall learn war no more. And into plowshares turn their swords, nations shall learn war no more. And into plowshares turn their swords, nations shall learn war no more. So before we end, and here are two more pictures of protest musicians that really stuck out to me as I've been working on this project and I've been listening to their music, especially Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. Another really influential musician from South Africa, Lucky Dube. So yeah, I leave you with these questions to take with you. What type of music do we need to create the places that we want? How is protest music that is aimed towards peace distinct? How can protest music be successful without, or can protest music be successful without the use of music? Or protest movements? So I think Ciela has some closing words before we sing our last song, but if I'm wrong about that, then we can also just sing our last song.
Thanks, Eli. That was beautiful. I just have a few words about the Intercollegiate Peace Fellowship Conference, which is happening right now. And if you didn't know about it, you should come talk to me, and I'll get you registered for it, and you can spend the rest of the weekend learning about peace with us. So yeah, this is the last event. For those of you who are currently attending the conference, this is the last event of the conference tonight. But immediately following this, there is ultimate frisbee on the turf field. And I know you all really want to be there, and I really want you all to be there. So that'll be really fun. Yeah, and tomorrow morning we'll have breakfast here at 8 a.m., and then we'll hear from our amazing keynote speakers, Emily Welty and Nadia Dames, starting with Emily at 8:45. So Thank you all so much for being here. We'll do one last song with Eli, who was so beautiful. And come join the Peace Fellowship Conference.
So I will invite the chamber singers who are in the audience to come to the front. Awesome, there are a lot of people here. So something I have learned through my time with chamber singers is that when we go on tour, visit new locations, and sing for new people, the music that we bring with us has a message in which we can invoke the same place for many groups of people. So here is Only Love by Mark Miller using words from MLK. Go play some Ultimate.